Olive Garden, an oasis of endless soup, salad, and breadsticks. But I know it as another place. Growing up, we always get that infamous question, what is your most embarrassing moment? I always struggled with it. I struggled to find a moment that was embarrassing moment worthy. But after I worked at Olive Garden for a total of 3 months, I no longer struggle to answer that question. In fact, I'd bet that my story probably tops any embarrassing story that you might have. But do challenge me in the comments. So go ahead and dive into those quarantine snacks, kick your feet up, and enjoy my Olive Garden nightmare.
So at the point of my undignified fall from grace, I'd say that I was working at Olive Garden for maybe a month and a half. And backtracking, I don't often expose myself to things where I'm not going to succeed at some level. At Olive Garden during my training, it was no secret that I was at the bottom of the totem pole when it came to being a server. The thing about Olive Garden is it's more difficult than a usual restaurant because of that endless soup, salad, and breadsticks that you have to keep going into the kitchen, coming out, going in, coming out, and it makes it a challenge. And I don't want to go into it to explain it, but trust me, it does. And that's what they warn you going into working at Olive Garden compared to other restaurants. And they let little old me in who had never been a server in her life. And I guess I went in on personality, thinking that my personality would carry me, but you need a lot more than personality to carry you through those Parmesan cheese smelling days. There are many things that go into the fact that I was the worst server at that place at that time. And I wasn't getting that groove, and I think I was super in my head. I was just slow, and I just didn't think like, oh, I should have grabbed that straw on the way to getting the sauce on the way to their table. Now I have to go back and get the straw. There was so much that went into it. But let's talk about that day. So at this point, I had started to get a little bit more comfortable. A woman comes in with a couple friends, and they go and sit at my table. Hi, my name's Katrina, and I'll be your server today. That's Katrina, like the hurricane. Bless their hearts. Here, let me hand out these menus for you. Here we are. There we go. I find out that the woman is celebrating her birthday. All right, are we celebrating anything special today?
Yeah, actually, it's my birthday today. Won't tell you how old I'm turning.
Oh, birthday girl. Okay, birthday. All right. Well, we'll be sure that we take good care of you today.
We're actually gonna go hit up the movies after this, right guys?
Yeah.
After they got done eating at Olive Garden, they would be going to the movies. So that's important to know. Anyhow, so I'm taking their order, and they order an appetizer, and they all order this drink at Olive Garden called wine, red wine, but they ordered it in the red wine Cortinos.
Ooh, guys, what about the red wine Cortino?
So the difference between a Cortino and just a regular wine glass is a wine glass is 6 ounces, whereas a Cortino is 9 ounces. So just 3 extra ounces that will always be extra painful to me. All of them order this red wine Cortino.
That sounds good. It's on me.
Thanks, girl.
All right.
Yeah, we'll take 3 of those.
Okay, so we all want to do the red wine Cortino? Okay, perfect. Sounds good. 3 red wine Cortinos. This day is going to be fun. And I'm so excited because that's what is that thing called again? That's an upsell for me and at Olive Garden. That was one of the reasons why I stopped working there, was because upselling really bothered me. It's like all about kind of tricking your guests into spending more money, and I just don't like that. I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to trick people out of their money. It was hard enough for me in Girl Scouts to ask people to buy Girl Scout cookies, so tricking people out of the money, no. I was happy because I got that upsell, and I wasn't going to be lectured at the end of the day like I normally was for not making enough money. I put it in the register and proceed to wait my other tables that I have. Yeah, let me go ahead and put in that order, and I'll be right back with your Cortinos, all right? So, the red wine cortinos are ready. And I remember like having my tray, and I had done pretty well in tray work up until this point. I put my 3 red wine cortinos on my tray. And I start to walk over to the table. I do feel like I was like a little bit nervous, but I was like, it's fine, I got this. I proceed to hand out the red wine cortinos to my guests. As I'm going to hand the woman her cortino, there was also glasses on the tray. I forgot about that. There were glasses. So I'm also handing out glasses. Now I'm handing out her glass, and as I'm handing it out, I'm also like leaning forward and not keeping my tray balanced. So y'all know what's about to happen. As I'm handing her glass and like leaning forward, chaos ensues. And just like that, any small amount of confidence that I had left to my name was shattered. Oh, I forgot to mention, this woman was wearing white pants. And like, not just any white pants, like this woman seemed very refined. Like she reminded me of the mom from The Parent Trap. So they had to be like Burberry. I can't even pronounce it. Banana Republic, something. So I know those weren't cheap. The cortino proceeds to go all over her white pants. All I could do was I felt my stomach like sink in. My heart went all the way to the bottom of my foot, and I was just like, it was like that gasp where you're like seizuring at the same time. And I just looked at her in the eye as I see her just look at the mess on her beautiful white pure pants. There was nothing I could say. There was nothing I could do that was gonna make it better. All I could do was say, I'm so sorry. As like I felt the tears welling up in my eyes, and my supervisor was like right there in an instant. I don't know if she saw it or if she was just standing there. It's kind of all a blur, but she was like, go to the back and go get rags like right now. So like I go get rags. Obviously gossip travels real quick in a restaurant. So within about a minute and 18 seconds, all my coworkers knew what I did. And I just heard it. It's, you know, when you're walking around and you feel people are talking about you and they're looking at you and they're like, Katrina's gonna be Katrina. Everyone was like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, oh, please stop asking me if I'm okay, because I'm about to burst into tears. But the great thing about my coworkers, they also shared their own horror stories that they had to make me feel better. So one person was like, Katrina, don't worry about it. I once spilt wine into a woman's purse before. And then there was Katrina, I spilt beer on a baby. So they were telling me their spill stories, and that did make me feel a little bit better. Now I'm sure you're wondering, was this woman like angry? Because I know a lot of people would be really angry. She had every right to be angry. But there is an upside to this story. So as I go out, I'm saying, like, I tell my supervisor, I will literally pay for her pants out of my paycheck. I'll pay for them to get dry cleaned, though obviously red wine is not coming out of white pants, so I don't know what I was thinking. I was in a time of desperation. So I go back to the table to find the woman cracking up, her friends cracking up. She's like pointing at pictures of her pants, having her friends come in the picture, take a picture. She asked me to join in a picture. She's having a grand old time, and then she looks at me and she's like, where's the bathroom at? And I'm like, it's over here. I will be happy to take you. And I'm also on the way, I'm telling her, like, do you have PayPal, whatever, I will give you the money, whatever those pants cost, so you can get more. And she's like, oh, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's totally fine. I was a waitress before. I understand. I was like, oh, good. So, like, you know what it's like. Did you ever spill on someone before? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, God. The end of the story is that Olive Garden had someone run over. There was an Old Navy really close to the street. Obviously, Old Navy in comparison to Banana Republic, not a thing, but this woman had a birthday movie to catch. So Olive Garden bought her a new pair of pants. They didn't charge me at all, although I was completely willing to be charged. And they brought it back in her size. And she was like, oh, yay, I get a new pair of pants. She was stoked. And believe it or not, that table ended up giving me the biggest tip of the entire day. I will never forget that. And I just felt like, wow, God, thank you. I have your blessing, because that could have been a very, very messy situation, figuratively. And it was like the highlight of my day. It was like the low light and the highlight of my day. So that's the story. I hope you enjoyed it. About a few weeks after that, I decided to throw in the towel because I just wanted to focus on my senior year of school work, and that was like another stress that I just didn't need. And I'm grateful for my time. I have a huge appreciation for our food service workers and waiters and waitresses and seating hosts and everyone, because it is not easy work. And I know firsthand, and I think that everybody should have that experience working in food service, because it's very humbling, and it helps you to be grateful, and it helps you to be kinder to those who are in service to you. So I do hope that you enjoyed. I'll never work at Olive Garden again. It took me forever to go back, and just the smell, I called it post-traumatic soup and salad disorder. It took me a while, but I have gone back. Love the 5 cheese DDL Forno. I hope that this story and reenactment was able to bring some laughter to your day wherever you may be. Thank you so much for watching, and I do hope that you will see me again in another video very soon.